Welcome to another video. Today,
you'll see that it lines up right to the beat.
Hey!
This is some of my sauciest tricks, and I'm gonna show you all the plugin chains for all of these.
Ooh, SIKKY.
So a couple of weeks ago, Simon Servita hit me up and said, hey SIKKY, I got this video idea where I'm listening to a beat, you can't hear it, but I'm gonna give you verbal cues as to what I'm hearing. Unbeknownst to me, this man was listening to a click track.
Hey, that drops clean. This is pretty serious bounce.
And I'll explain the significance of this in a little bit. This was such a fun beat for me to make because I was able to basically incorporate a lot of live instruments, and including an instrument that I've never used in a beat, just never found a way to use it. And really the reason why I wanted to show you this is because I did so many left field things on this beat that I thought it would be a shame for me to not share this. This is some of my sauciest tricks that I used on this particular beat, and I think you guys are gonna get mad excited after watching this. So let me show you what we've got. When Simon sent the video to me, I knew I had to get it into FL Studio. Never done that before. Found out that there's a plugin made by FL Studio called Fruity Video Player. When I hit play, and it's Mr. Simon Servita watching the video, and you'll see that it lines up right to the beat.
Hey.
Next, I put in a bunch of markers, filter, clean drop, drum fill, unique instrument. Those markers kind of gave me an idea of what to build a beat around. The intro melody consists of a kalimba sound, a bass guitar, a vocal one shot, and some vocals that I recorded. And I'm gonna show you all the plugin chains for all of these. Kalimba sound goes through plugin chain here. We got some Fruity Limiter, we got some Valhalla Ubermod, some reels, and then we got the bass guitar, which is going through Type A by Audio Things and a limiter to control the dynamics. And then lastly, we have these two vocals, one from Coop's one-shot kit and one that I actually recorded myself. This is the one from Coop's kit. And we got one here that I recorded myself. I chopped up the vocals that I recorded and I moved around using some saucy FL Studio tricks that I'll be showing you in this month's video on FL Studio shortcuts. And then we have a filter, like Simon says, and we'll turn Simon back up.
SIKKY.
Filter school?
Thanks, Simon. I did that myself. And then we got the string part. Someone on Simon's video asked what strings was I using. This is the stock Native Instruments orchestral library you get when you purchase Contact. Then we move into the next section where we have the clean drop.
Hey, that drops clean.
Clean means simple. It will, at least to me. Put my hat back on. We got this kick drum, which came from the Pandora Experience. And then we got a punchy kick that we layered with it. And then we have a fruity kick, which is mimicking the kick drum rhythm. That is what I'm using to trigger the side chain for a later part in the beat. This is what the fruity kick sounds like. Not a lot of sound to it, but it's not going to the master. In fact, you're not even supposed to hear it, which is why I disconnected it from the master. We layered that kick drum with a tabla sound, which is a traditional Indian percussion instrument, which I'm pretty sure also came from Pandora Experience. Then we've got clap sound right here. Those two together, the tabla and the slightly delayed clap sound, help create a really cool, interesting bounce. For the percussion sound, we actually used a percussion instrument that you saw at the beginning of this video. Basically took that percussion sound, pitched it up 1 octave, tracked it twice. You can see that the two performances don't even line up perfectly, and then we layered them on top of each other. Typically you're supposed to pan them, but I wanted it to feel like more than one person was playing it. So I didn't pan them, one mic recording, and they went into this plugin chain: Fruity Compressor, Transient Shaper, Parametric EQ, Fruity Limiter. Nothing crazy. I did end up tuning, meaning slightly adjusting the pitch of the whole performance in order to get it more in tune with the key of the song. This again is what it sounds like. Those two together fill in the pockets in between. Cool, right? You can even see how I played it in the beginning of the video, where I muted the drum with my hand to kind of stop the tone from ringing out. So that's the melody and the drop and the drums. The first saucy trick that I did was to use that fruity click kick. I used that to trigger a side chain, which turned down the volume of all of the music briefly for a moment, so that my kick, which is already a unique sounding kick, to really stand out. And the way that I did it, I routed the kick to track number 39, and on this track I have the Fruity Peak controller. Now what this plugin does is it takes the incoming signal, outputs another signal that can be used to control a parameter of another plugin. In this case, every time the kick comes through on my all melodies track, I have a Fruity Love filter, and there's a preset called volume and pan, where the Y knob is going to basically turn the volume down. Watch this. So when the drums are playing and that kick is punching, the music is being turned down. Got in this beat is this drum fill that Mr. Savita tells me to put in the dead middle of a 4-bar sequence. This is why I was like, what am I gonna do? This man was listening to a click track and thought, hey, let's mess around with these boys and tell them to put a drum fill in the middle of the song for no reason that'll probably sound bad. We made it work, boys. We made it work. Got this drum fill. Also from Pandora Experience, we got some vocal sound effects that happen in between to fill out the song, kind of create an interesting question and answer thing. And then we come to the unique instrument. Now this unique instrument, I thought, hey, maybe I can find a didgeridoo sample or some weird, I don't know, African or Australian, I don't know, some kind of weird instrument. But then I remembered that I had this instrument that I got on my last trip to India, and this instrument is called a tumbi. East Indian? I think it's an East Indian instrument. Considering Mr. Shervita was a little bit unsure as to what was coming.
Wait, what instrument is this?
We used a filter to add to the mystery of what this sound was before completely revealing it in the next section.
Wait, what instrument is this? That is...
And it's the subtleness of those kinds of reactions that he did that I tried to really build on. There's also some reverb automation, and that's what kind of adds to the coolness of this instrument. And that's done by doing some really simple automation. Right click on your parameter, click create automation, or take your plugin, click on a knob or a parameter, come up here to tools, then go to last tweaked, and then you will see the name of the plugin that you're talking about, the track that you're in, and then just click create automation clip. Very simple. That reverb comes in at the end of every phrase, and it adds a kind of a transition before every beat. I don't know why I did it, but it just sounded cool.
What instrument is this? That is weird.
And then Mr. Servita tells me that I'm supposed to pan something. And at this point in the beat making process, I had basically squeezed out every ounce of creative ideas I had and just went the lazy route and put in some very simple panning automation for that one instrument. Very simple. Create a little point, add another point above it, add another point here, bring it down some, another one right there, bring this up here. Make sure these lines are matching up by right clicking, coming down to copy, right clicking on this point, pasting the values so that it's the same, and then you got your panning. And that's how we did the simple automation. Saucy trick number 3 that I have for you, and something that's really subtle, and this is just something that I've thought of. I don't think the human ear can hear more than 3 to 4 melodic instruments. So what I did in this case was I removed all the other melodic kalimbas, the bass guitar, the vocals. I removed all of those and let this one string instrument stand on its own. Uber simple, but I think it sounds good the way it is.
What instrument is this? That is weird. Oh, panning action, nice.
Which brings us to the final lead. And because the creative tank was basically running on empty, we decided, hey, let me hop on display, type in lead, and go through a bunch of sound and pull up something that I thought was cool. So let me break down the saucy tip number 4.1, because first one is to take all of the melodic elements here, chop them up, tighten their performance so they sound percussive, and then move the performance within that until it sounds like it's hitting on the beat. And then we had end it with a little saucy trick number 4.2. I have no idea why I'm numbering them like this, but you already know I'm cuckoo for organization, so let's just run with it. We've got the second saucy trick on this lead, which is this 8-bit lead where we have waves H delay, where we've taken the Fruity Peak controller's LFO. It's basically me doing this on a knob inside the plugin without me actually doing it. And you'll see that the millisecond or the speed of the delay is being modulated, and it's near almost between 10 and 30 milliseconds, I think it is. It goes down to 9 milliseconds and all the way up to 26. That back and forth modulation, because of the way that this plugin operates, when it has to change the tempo of the delay, it starts pitching things up and down in order to bring the delays to the tempo that you want it to be at. Kind of confusing, but it sounds cool. This is what it sounds like all by itself.
That lead is fire.
You see what I mean? It's such a small thing. I just thought it was so cool. What takes it even to another level is the fact that every time that kick comes in, it ducks out of the way. So it's like saucy layers. It's like cake with different layers. Like pizza when you okay, I guess I'm hungry right now. Let me finish this video before I go pig out on some food.
Lead is fire.
Saucy trick number 4.3 is to create silence and space, and it's built on this quote that I read from French composer Claude Debussy. The quote is, "Music is built in between the notes," basically silence. Really deep, kind of cool. Automation is how we did that. We cut out the notes so that the next bar 18 here hits hard because there's silence before it. And so when you play it together, silence
is fire.
Right. If you want to create impact to your drops, you have to create silence before, not after. That makes sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Saucy trick number 4.3 is to really create that stuttery bounce, that rigidity. You can't let the notes flow into each other. Flowing into each other's notes is called legato. We don't want that. Not that you can't do that ever. In this instance, I didn't want that because the shorter note helped the rhythm of the melody, which finally brings us to saucy trick number 4.3. God, these numbers are crazy. This one is simple. You'll notice that in this whole beat, we did not have any hi-hats. Now, I thought for the style of music that I was trying to make, which is really inspired by that 2005 Neptunes, Timbo type of thing, I thought, you know what? Let's be creative with whatever we got left. And that was to shorten the notes of our main melody as short as possible. The reason for this is twofold. Number one, it adds to the drum's rhythm while also being a melody. Two, when you shorten that melodic element, the delay ends up coming through on the tail and filling it out. We accentuated that effect even more by using Lfo Tool. This plugin can do a lot of different things like panning, filter cutoff modulation. I used it more as a way to create a more percussive sound. If I take it off, interesting. Turn it on, it's more percussive sounding. A lot of time went into this beat and a lot of little things took place. This isn't the type of beat that someone can make in 10 minutes. I really tried to put as much effort into this because I knew that producers would be listening to this beat. This beat took over 17 hours to make, so it's not something that I could make in 10 minutes, especially with the amount of detail and fine tuning of the littlest things. Let me know what your favorite part about this beat is in the comments, and I'm gonna pick one winner to win a free copy of the Pandora Experience in the next 24 hours. hours. If you missed this and it's been 24 hours, make sure to turn on the post notifications, leave a like on this video, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.